Who I am is by government, Lisa Marie Jackson. By trade, Lisa Marie Phoenix Jackson. Who I am is a creative and a teacher who continuously rises. That's my description to anyone who asks me who I am by profession, because it really does embody everything that I am. I'm not isolated to a career. I feel that my purpose in this lifetime is to create and to teach. With me being the age that I am, I have no shame in my game. I just turned 30. I feel that I'm starting to step into my purpose through a lot of courageous leaps of faith, in particular in terms of creating. I've created the most in my life from transitioning into fashion, and I'm a late bloomer. I just entered fashion 6 years ago. 6 years ago, when you're looking at being 24, well into your career, a lot of people don't exactly transition at that stage. But myself and a lot of my peers that are fellow millennials said, bump it. Why are we going to dedicate ourselves to something that doesn't make us happy and coincide with our purpose? So I started as an unpaid intern in fashion, and we fast forward now 6 years later. I still have my business, which is Phoenix Aficionado, where I'm a digital marketing consultant, and I just secured a role where I'm the digital marketing manager for Nicole Miller. So when you look at that 6-year gap, I am creating more in terms of being with my purpose, but I know that I can create waves more, not only within the span of fashion brands, but for myself in helping other emerging and established designers along the way. On the second part, in terms of teaching, I've also got my first introductory experience into teaching, where I dedicated most of last year to teaching junior high and entry high school kids how to deal with wearable technology as well as fashion entrepreneurship. It was a great taste of it. However, I ultimately look forward to teaching in an academia basis through college, so that way I literally see myself cultivating marketing campaigns by day and teaching as a professor, hopefully Professor Jackson hyphen whoever ends up being my ultimate king. When I step into that, I'll feel that I'm closer to my self-actualization. To that point, until I'm there, I'm nowhere near my purpose yet. I'm still taking strides. A trying time that I overcame / am still overcoming is the passing of my mother. I lost my mother right before I could finish college, in my senior year of college. That was the most trying time in my life, because pretty much in addition to her being the matriarch of my life, me being one of my only relatives that lives in New York, she was also the last immediate family member that I had, considering that I had already lost my grandmother and my father. Her passing was hard to overcome, but with it also being hard, it was also my biggest motivating factor in terms of wanting to go harder. One of the last gifts that she gave to me was 3 $100 bills inside of a card. And that was along with the note that said, hopefully this gets you one step closer to a laptop. At that point, she didn't know that I would ultimately have a digital business, that I would end up being a fashion marketer who lives and thrives and gets paid to pretty much create on a computer. She took that leap of faith, know that I needed it to finish college, and just wanted to support my dream, and took the last 3 $100 bills she had to make that dream a possibility. So with her passing, it got me really down and out, but also motivated me, because I told myself, if somebody to invest in me and not knowing what I could become, I owe my life to her. So that's the hardest. One quote. One of the main ones that I always say to all my friends, and used to say it all the time to my scholars, was, without struggle, there is no progress. And it's an old throwback, and I know I'm probably butchering it, but it's an old throwback Frederick Douglass quote. It's been the epitome of my life, because every step of the way it's been a struggle to get to the point that I am, and for me to even get to the next step in my life. But it's helped me in terms of achieving progress. Every step has been a learning curve. Even the most detrimental, jacked up situations where I asked why me and wanted to be plucked out of it, I didn't realize that I was being pulled out of those situations so I can get into a better one. So that quote has changed my life. And of course, the countless quotes in the Bible, because I'm a Christian, I'm a woman in faith. So my faith has definitely helped me keep going every single day. One thing that I wish I knew 5 to 10 years ago, I'll backtrack to 10 years ago, with me still being in college, is I wish that I knew that credit was currency. I wish I realized that your credit literally is your fingerprint with us being in the United States, and that anything that you can viably want to invest in, from home ownership to your continued education, and even for you being a small business owner, relies upon your credit. So one thing that I wish somebody would have told me about 10 years ago, in addition to, hey, go to college and get an education, was don't dig yourself into debt. And realistically, my cycle of toxic debt, young in my life, started in college with countless loans that people don't advise you isn't exactly the most healthy debt if you don't have an action plan to pay it back. So 5 to 10 years ago, I would have told myself, stay clear of it, use as much cash as possible, and only actually open lines of credit when you know you can handle it. So that I would do differently. I would say for the generation coming up behind me, it's crazy to think that millennials are about to be phasing into the next whatever they're going to, jacked up name they're going to call you guys. My advice to you would be is stay true to yourself from the very beginning. As I stated, I'm just turning 30, yet it took me the better part of a decade to realize that I can look at trends and admire them, but not want to become it, and actually own who in my gut I feel I'm not only supposed to act like and look like, but just embody. I spent too many years trying to be what other people wanted me to be, and not from a commercial pop culture basis, but even down to the partners you have, the relationships you have. We're not our parents' generation, so we don't have to come running out the gate and get married at 20 and 21 and become what our husbands or our wives want us to be. We really can feel something in our gut that tells us, I want to wear this outfit, I want to be this profession, and you actually don't have to report to anybody but yourself or be concerned about that judgment or criticism. If you're that weirdo, be that weirdo. To this day, I'm considered that weirdo. I just no longer care what people think about it, and now I attract exactly who I am. So I'm now in a circle of weirdos. There's people out there for you. Just be yourself could be my biggest advice to the generation before you, because it will save you a lot of growing curves of having people start to resent you for coming into yourself when it was really who you were the entire time. Women's lives matter.